All right, let's paint a picture. It's Saturday morning.
Okay.
You've got errands to run, the hardware store, maybe meeting a friend for a quick coffee.
The usual weekend stuff.
Exactly. So
Mhm.
you open your closet and your brain just sort of powers down. You see the hoodie, you see the jeans sitting there. You throw on some sneakers, look in the mirror, you think, okay, comfortable. I'm playing it safe. And honestly, that feels like a win.
It feels like a win in the moment, absolutely. But the article we're discussing today argues that very moment, that exact split second of, good enough, is actually a trap.
See, I struggle with that right away because in my head, playing it safe is the smart move. It's the weekend. I'm off the clock. Why is being comfortable a trap? That sounds a little dramatic.
It does, doesn't it? But the author frames it as a quiet surrender of judgment. And I think that's the key phrase right there, a surrender of judgment.
Meaning I stopped making a conscious decision.
Exactly. I mean, think about it this way. When you wear a suit or even something business formal, you have a manual, a cheat sheet. Lapel width, the right tie fabric, belt matches the shoes. There are rules. If you follow the rules, you pass. It's like painting by numbers.
Okay, sure. It's a uniform. I get that.
But casual wear, all the rules are gone. It's the Wild West. And the article makes this incredibly bold claim that I think most guys just completely overlook. Casual wear is actually the highest difficulty setting in men's style.
That feels totally backward to me. A
Yeah.
tuxedo feels like high difficulty. A hoodie
Well-
feels like level 1, like the tutorial mode.
But look at it from a communication angle. With a tuxedo, the suit does the talking. The suit says, I am formal, I am respectful. With a hoodie and jeans, you have to do all the talking. And by trying to be invisible, you're not actually hiding. You're exposing the fact that you don't have a strategy. You're broadcasting loudly that you just opted out.
So by trying to look like I don't care or trying to be neutral, I'm actually showing how much I don't know.
Precisely. And today, we're going to unpack why that is. We're going to look at the surprising military history behind our weekend clothes, which goes way deeper than I ever thought, and the psychological feedback loop that can actually change how you think based on what you wear.
Okay, if my clothes are changing my brain chemistry, I definitely need to pay attention. But let's stick with this trap idea for a second, because the article argues most guys aren't dressing for comfort, they're dressing to disappear.
Right, the trap of invisibility.
And I totally get that. You don't want to be the guy who tried too hard and got it wrong.
Hmm.
You don't want to be the fashion guy who looks at a place at the pub.
That fear is real. The article talks about this as avoiding evaluation. You pick neutral colors, safe fits. Maybe you just copy what every other guy around you is wearing. You think, if I'm unremarkable, I'm safe.
Right.
But the research highlighted here, specifically on confidence, shows that this backfires. Big time.
How does it backfire, though? If I'm flying under the radar, haven't I succeeded?
You've succeeded in being ignored, but you've failed at building self-trust. It's a psychological thing. If you never risk being wrong, you never prove to yourself that you can be right. And, socially, being unremarkable doesn't mean people respect you for being humble. It usually just means you get overlooked.
That's a bit harsh.
Yeah.
But I guess I see it. If you look unreadable, people they scroll past you in real life.
Unreadable men are ignored. And here's the paradox the author points out. Casual wear strips away the armor of formality. In a suit, you've got armor. In a t-shirt, you're totally exposed. So your personal choices become more visible, not less.
It's like being on stage without a script.
That's a perfect analogy. And if you're terrified of messing up your lines, or in this case, making a style mistake, you freeze. You play it small. But the article makes a crucial point. Confidence only comes from the risk of being wrong. You have to risk a misstep to train your discernment.
All those bad outfits we regret from old photos, that was actually part of the process.
It's the only way to learn. Every safe choice you make just delays your development. Every risk you take, even if it doesn't land perfectly, it trains your eye. You learn what fits, what colors work on you, what actually feels like you. Stay in the safety trap, you just stagnate.
I love that idea that you have to be willing to be seen even if it's imperfect.
Right.
But I want to pivot to the clothes themselves for a minute, because the article brings up this really fascinating historical point that I had never considered. We treat casual clothes like they're the same as being lazy.
Which is so ironic because the article points out that almost every staple in your casual wardrobe was born from extreme discipline.
Yeah, this part blew my mind. They trace the lineage of our so-called chill clothes directly back to the military.
It's a fascinating family tree. I mean, look at the trench coat. World War I. That wasn't a fashion statement. It was literally designed for living in the trenches. The khaki chinos you wear on a casual Friday, those are military standard issue. Even the white t-shirts started as U.S. Navy underwear.
So they weren't designed to look cool.
Not at all. They were engineered for survival. They were all about durability, hierarchy, and specific function. You know the M65 field jacket, the olive green one with the 4 big pockets on the front?
Oh, the taxi driver jacket, yeah.
Right. Those pockets weren't placed there because a designer thought they looked nice. They were placed there so a soldier could carry specific gear maps, ammunition, rations, while keeping his hands free for a rifle. These garments are symbols of pure competence.
So they're tools.
They're high-performance tools. Exactly.
So how in the world do we go from symbol of ballistic competence to I'm eating cereal on my couch at 11 a.m.? How did that meaning just completely flip?
Well, the shift happened, according to the article, mostly in the 1960s and 70s. You had the counterculture movement, protesters, hippies who started buying up all this cheap military surplus.
Oh, right, the Army-Navy stores?
Exactly. But here's the nuance that's so easy to miss. They weren't wearing those field jackets to be lazy. They were wearing them to subvert the meaning. They were taking a symbol of military authority and recontextualizing it as a symbol of rebellion. It was a very intentional choice.
They were saying, I don't need your gray flannel suit. I'm wearing the clothes of the people.
Precisely. It was a statement. But fast forward 50 years to today. We kept the clothes, but we lost the intent. We forgot the manual. We put on the field jacket because it looks cool, but we treat it like pajamas. We've stripped all the structure out of it.
That really changes how you look at a pair of jeans. It's not just pants.
Yeah.
It's a piece of engineering with a whole history.
And when you wear them without that understanding, without that intention, it shows. It looks sloppy because you're treating a structured tool like it's loungewear. And that disconnect is what creates that messy look.
Okay, so we've got the history, and we realize we're wearing combat gear to go buy milk. But I want to get into the head game here. The article calls casual style the final exam of a wardrobe.
I love this metaphor. I mean, think about it. Formal wear is high school. You're told what to do, where to be, what to wear. Business casual is maybe college. You have some freedom, but there's still guardrails. You know you can't wear board shorts to the office.
Right. But casual wear.
Casual wear is the real world.
Yeah.
It's the final exam. There's no dress code to blame. There is nothing to hide behind. The only structure left is your own judgment.
That is terrifying. That explains why I stand in front of my closet and just feel that decision fatigue.
It is terrifying, and that's why it feels so hard. And the article brings in some pretty heavy science here to explain why it matters so much. It's this concept called enclothed cognition.
Enclothed cognition. Sounds like something out of a sci-fi novel.
It does, doesn't it? But it's a very real psychological concept, famously researched by Hajo Adam and Adam Galinsky. And this is really the core of why just dressing for comfort backfires.
Okay, break it down for me. What is it?
Basically, it's the idea that your clothes don't just reflect who you are. They systematically influence how you think and how you perform.
Wait, hold on. So you're saying literally wearing certain clothes can change my brain function. That sounds like a stretch.
It changes your cognitive processing. Adam and Galinsky did this famous study where they gave participants a white coat. For half the group, they said, this is a painter's smock. For the other half, they said, this is a doctor's coat.
It was the same coat.
Identical white coat. Then they gave them a test that required high attention to detail. The group that thought they were wearing the doctor's coat. They performed significantly better. Their brains actually sharpened up because they associated the garment with things like care and intelligence.
That is wild. So because they felt like a doctor, they started to act like one.
Exactly. Now, flip that to your Saturday morning hoodie. If you associate that hoodie with checking out or laziness or hiding,
Bro, my brain starts to power down.
you embody the trait. It's a feedback loop. If you wear clothes that signal I've given up, your cognitive state follows suit. You become a little less sharp, a little less confident, less willing to take social risks.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. I look like a mess, so I feel like a mess, so I act like a mess.
And the article pairs this with other research on person perception. It's not just internal, it's a loop between you and everyone else. How others read you shapes how you see yourself. If you look sloppy, people scroll past you, they don't engage, and that lack of engagement just reinforces your own feeling that you don't really matter.
Man, there's a line in the article that says, you feel it when something's off, you sense hesitation. I think we've all felt that. You walk out the door, and you just have this nagging feeling that you want to go home and change.
That friction is your brain knowing you surrendered your judgment. It isn't just vanity, it's a lack of alignment. Your brain knows you took the easy way out, and it's nagging you about it.
So we're standing there in front of the closet, we're feeling the friction, we know our brain is powering down. My instinct anyway is, okay, I need to go shopping, I need better clothes. If I just buy that cool jacket I saw, I'll be fixed.
And the article practically screams, stop! Do not go to the mall.
Why not? Retail therapy usually feels pretty good.
Because it just leads to decision fatigue and choice overload. If you don't have a system in place, adding more variables just creates more chaos. Research shows that more options actually reduce your satisfaction. You buy a cool jacket, but you don't know how to wear it, so it just sits there, and now you feel guilty and unstylish.
Guilty and unstylish.
Yeah.
The Saturday morning special. Okay, so if we're not supposed to go shopping, what are we supposed to do? The article outlines a pretty specific system for fixing this.
It starts with a mindset shift. You need to stop thinking about outfits and start thinking about instruments.
Instruments.
Yeah, an interchangeable system. You shouldn't be buying isolated looks. You should be building a wardrobe based on archetypes and context. A pair of jeans isn't an outfit on its own. It's an instrument in a system that supports your judgment.
Okay, so how do we build this system? The article gives us this four-step method, and step one, that's a bit brutal.
Step 1. Take the confidence index.
What does that mean?
You have to measure where you actually stand. Don't guess. The article suggests a specific tool, but the core idea is just brutal honesty. Most guys lie to themselves here. They say, oh, I'm a solid 7 out of 10. But are you? Or are you just comfortable? You need a real baseline.
That's like stepping on the scale before you start a diet. You need the painful data first.
Precisely. Step 2 is discover your style. This is about figuring out your archetype. Are you more rugged? Are you a minimalist? Classic. You need that internal structure. If you don't know your archetype, you're just buying trends.
And trends fade, archetypes stick.
Correct. Now, step 3 is where it gets interesting as a training exercise. Rate some outfits.
Looking at other people's clothes.
Looking at others objectively, yeah. It trains your eye without any of the risk. You look at an outfit online or on the street and you ask, does this work? Why? Why not? You're building your critical faculties in a safe space. You're learning the language before you try to write the novel.
Okay, so you're studying the tape. I can do that. But then comes step 4. And the article calls this the scariest step.
Get rated.
Yeah. Upload your own outfit for real feedback.
This is the big hurdle.
Oh, man. That makes my palms sweat just thinking about it. Why on earth would I subject myself to that?
Because the article argues that your problem isn't the clothes, it's the fear of judgment. We've circled right back to the beginning. You're dressing to avoid being seen. The only way to cure that fear is through exposure.
You have to rip the Band-Aid off.
You do. You have to realize that getting a 3 out of 10 from someone isn't a death sentence. It's just data. It tells you, okay, the fit on these jeans is off. Great. Now you know what to fix. If you never get rated, you just stay in that comfortable lie we talked about. You protect your ego, but you sacrifice all your growth.
It kind of gamifies it. Instead of getting dressed being this heavy emotional thing about your self-worth, it becomes a skill you're leveling up.
That's the idea of daily practice. Treat getting dressed as a behavioral practice, not a shopping spree. It's about standing by your judgment every single morning. When you put on an outfit, you're saying, I chose this. I stand by it. Even if it's just a t-shirt and chinos.
And doing that over and over builds that self-trust we were talking about.
It works because it's earned. You can't just buy that feeling. You have to earn it through repetition.
This has really been a huge shift in perspective for me. I think the biggest aha moment from all of this is that the discomfort I feel when I'm trying to dress casually. That feeling of, I don't know if this is right.
Wow.
It's not because I lack clothes.
No.
It's because I'm feeling exposed without a rule book.
Precisely. You're feeling the weight of your own freedom. Formal wear protects you with rules. Casual wear demands you protect yourself with taste. And taste takes work.
And we can't just opt out, because even opting out is a choice that everyone around you is reading.
There is no neutral. That's the big takeaway.
So if you were to leave our listeners with one final thought, something to really chew on next time they're staring at their closet, what would it be?
I'd go back to the article's closing argument, which I found really powerful. Casual wear isn't the problem. Avoiding judgment is the problem. If you want respect from others, and more importantly, from yourself, you have to stop trying to be invisible. You're going to be seen one way or another. You might as well control the narrative.
Control the narrative. I love that. So tomorrow morning, when you reach for that hoodie, ask yourself, are you choosing it because it's part of your system? Or are you choosing it because you're trying to hide?
That's the question.
Thanks for listening to this deep dive. Go take a look at your closet with some fresh eyes. We'll see you next time.